Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alessa and on Of Madness and Magic I am doing reviews of books, movies and TV shows and whatever else I might come across. And today I want to rank all of my September reads. I've read 10 books, 9 of them are fantasy, 1 is a thriller. But yeah, September was like an amazing reading month for me. I've read like more than 2 books a week, which is so crazy, and I never really read that much. I'm excited to see how much I'll read in October. But yeah, I thought it would be fun to just like rank them from like my least favorite to my favorite one that I've read. I'm probably gonna do these videos each month now. But yeah, let's get into it. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. Okay, so now let's get started. So the worst book that I've read this month, and usually I want to say least favorite, but this was really like the worst book and I hated it so much. It's one of the worst books that I've ever read. And I feel so sorry about saying that because usually I don't like, like bitching about something like that, but I hate this book so much. And it's Blood and Honey. I didn't like the first book. I thought it was meh. But Blood and Honey was so bad. Nothing happened in the book. The main characters are absolutely insufferable. I hate Lou. I hate Reed. Lou is only doing stupid stuff in this book. And like, I don't know, like they have no chemistry as well. Like none of the characters are really, like that compelling, and I really hated this book, and I'm not gonna read the third book just because I'm not gonna suffer through that again. I read that it's not gonna be as bad as this one, but like I don't care about finding out, and I just really don't care about the story at all, so that's the worst book that I've read this month, and like the second worst that I've read this year. Sorry. And then my 9th book. And then my second least favorite book was Gild from the Plated Prisoner series. I read it on my Kindle, so that's why I don't have a physical copy of it. But I didn't really care for it. I thought like it sounded really good, and I didn't hate it or anything, but I just really didn't care about the main character. I thought she was kind of stupid and naive, like she's just been sitting in her cage for 10 years and, being upset about it, but never really changing anything about it. Like, she's kind of stupid, I think. And then also, like, the end was just like, I don't know, like, it's supposed to be on fairies, but then fairies only come at the very end, and even then they don't really play a role. So, I don't know, like, it was just like, like nothing happened in that book as well, but in the end it was kind of a hot mess. But still, like nothing happened in this book. So I didn't really like it, and I'm not gonna continue the series. Next up we have Serpent and Dove, which again I liked better than Blood and Honey, but I also really didn't like it. I only continued the series just because I bought both of these books before even starting them, which is something I'll like avoid doing in the future. Because I don't know, like I didn't think this book was really good. I didn't like the story. I thought it sounded really good on a blurb, but it wasn't for me. Again, like I don't like the main characters. They were better in this book than they were in the second one, but like still, it's just not for me. And yeah, not something that I would ever recommend, other than if you want a really pretty cover, because these books are gorgeous. Next up we have Court of Silver Flames, which I love the first 3 ACOTAR books, which you will see in my ranking. But this one, like, I mean, it's not even that I minded it being from Nesta's perspective. I really liked the plot, actually, and I also didn't mind the smut in it. I thought on itself, like, the plot was pretty much okay, but it was such a long book, and the ending felt very rushed. Like, it was just, like, 50 pages, and, like, I don't know, like, I just expected a bigger ending. And I found the ending not good, and also I really hated how Riz and Feyre were just like really pushed to the sidelines. They were like, I don't know, like Riz was so toxic in this book, which I hated, and Feyre was just like, I mean, like obviously like her being pregnant is like, a sweet story and all of that, but she didn't do anything, and I just like really hated that. So definitely like my least favorite book in the series. Didn't like it, and I hope that the following book will be a lot better. Then we have ACOTAR, so A Court of Frost and Starlight, which I liked, and honestly I wish that a book like this existed in every single fantasy series, just like a book where nothing happens and just like everything is fine after the huge battle of the last one, and the characters are just like chilling, interacting with one another. I think it was like it was really nice to read. I mean, like, it's not gonna be like my favorite book, of course, because like nothing really happens in there, but it was just so nice to read and I liked it, but yeah, it wasn't amazing or anything. Then we have To Kill a Kingdom, which I loved. I think, like, I loved the first, I think it was like 280 pages, so like the very big majority of the book. It was amazing. It was an amazing, like, dark fantasy, enemies to lovers, and everything was just like, it's a dark fantasy retelling of The Little Mermaid, and it was like very unique. I definitely loved it, but the ending was also like very much a hot mess. Like, everything just went down and I was just like, okay, like, this is too much for me. And I also didn't like the very last scene. I didn't really like how the book was resolved, so that's why it's not up higher up on my list, but still, like, I really love it and I would recommend it to anyone. But again, like, the ending just like really wasn't my thing. And next up we have Old Bones, which is a thriller by Preston and Gild. It's actually the first book that I've read by them, but it definitely won't be the last. I really, really love this one. It's one of the best thrillers that I've read in quite a while. It's about like an archaeologist and an FBI agent, and they end up solving a case together. It was just like masterfully written. There were so many great plot twists. Everything made sense. The main characters are really, really cool, and I'm very excited to read the second book in the series and whatever else may follow. So really like this one, and one of my favorite thrillers. Yeah, and then we're up to the top 3, and it's all gonna be A Court of Thorns and Roses. So if that's not your thing, you might also turn off the video now. But yeah, like, my third favorite book I read was A Court of Thorns and Roses, the first book in the series. I loved it so much. It's such a good book. It's such a strong start to the series. I was kind of spoiled a little bit just because I've seen fan art of Feyre and Rhys before, so I knew that Tamlin wasn't gonna be endgame. But I think like that really just made it better for me. Because I was so excited to see how Rhys would turn from villain to, you know, love interest. And yeah, I love this one so much. I think it's so good. But yeah, I mean, like, the first book is like rarely ever the best book just because things are just like, you know, like slowly building, and so I really like this one, but the other two were just better. And then in second place we have A Court of Wings and Ruin, the third book in the series. This was such an amazing finale. I loved everything about this book from start to finish. I don't usually like the third books in a series where, you know, like, shit really goes to hell, because they're always too dark for me. I'm actually like really a middle book kind of person, which is something that I think not a lot of people are, but I always like, usually like my favorite book in a series is the middle book. But I really, really love this one so much. It was so good. It was full of suspense and I loved it. Perfect book. I loved it. And to no surprise, obviously, my favorite book was A Court of Mist and Fury. This is generally one of the best books that I've ever read, if not the best book. It was so good from start to finish. I loved absolutely everything about it, and it's gonna be my new comfort read from now on. It's just chef's kiss. I love it, love it, love it. You can call me a basic bitch or whatever, but I just really love this book, and you can't change my mind about it. It's, again, like, I love middle books, and this was like the best middle book that I've ever read because, yeah, it's just so good, and I will never stop raving about this book. So yeah, that's my ranking of my September reads. I'm very excited about my October reads because there are quite some big books in that. Like, I have like on my TBR is the Cruel Prince series from Blood and Ash series, Kingdom of the Wicked, and then also Throne of Glass, where I'm excited to see how far I will come. But yeah, so a lot of fantasy series coming up this month, and I'm excited to see which one I like best. So if you're interested in that as well, you know, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss when I upload that video, and you can also activate the bell so you get notified whenever I upload new videos. And yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye!